Hey everybody, and welcome back to Satisfactory. I've been itching to play my factory. I have done a couple of things off camera. I added a new bank of steel plate makers to the top of that. Adjusted my numbers. I don't have totals yet because I plan on there's going to be more, so I don't have totals yet. And the total is the top portion, anyways. It's I'm making 360 plates per minute. That's getting fed into my system. Haven't changed much else. I did add a board. This is for all my viewers. This would be the spreadsheet that I have sitting in front of me. The power line is for visuals for you guys. So on this side of it is the raw commodities coming in. The iron line, the copper line, steel line, limestone line. Now I do need to put the crystal line up, but I mean, crystal just makes 2 items, and those 2 items are right here. So, I mean, they are listed. But this way you could, I don't know if you're following along, if you're playing along. This is kind of how I do my spreadsheet. Now, the iron line, so I have 2520 coming in on 11 belts. Going out, 10 in. It has, that's why it's 2,700 capacity, because, of course, I'm MK3 belts, 270 per, 10 belts, 2,700. But I have 11 going out. I had to add, and actually, maybe I'll show you that. I have mentioned in the past, why I leave the spacing that I do in my stuff. And what I mean by that is when I set up these evener belts, I always leave 4 spaces in between the bank, each bank. And the reason I do that is because eventually I'm going to do this. Okay. And what I've done is I've 1 or 2, in this case 2, 3 before 3 before the end, right? 3 sets of eveners before the end. I'm drawing a third, which will go together and make 1 more belt. So now I have 11 belts coming out, 10 in, and you just have to do the math. Before I had 4 belts going down to the steel area, which is way, down there, and I wasn't using that 4th belt. And then now I'm using the 4th belt, and I made 2 more banks of iron ingot makers, which means I now have 4 sections, which I've upped my iron ingots to 2160. My reasoning for doing that is because I had to up the iron plates, It all becomes a numbers game, which is why throughout the factory, like I said, I mean, I've done this kind of for you, kind of for me. It reminds me as I'm running around my factory what I'm doing in an area. As you'll notice, I've tried to separate all my stuff and tried, anyways, to not go across my roads, but it's going to happen. So each area being listed, each area what it does, just it keeps me organized. This is a monster of a factory. I have commonly in the past, I've mentioned this before, but if you're a new viewer, I've commonly in the past made what I call satellite stations, which means throughout the map. And you'll notice, as big as this is, I've only explored this much. I'm actually saving the rest of the map, okay, which is, I mean, the map's fairly huge. I'm saving the rest of it. There's going to be a day where I'm going to ask my wife and maybe a couple other players that play Satisfactory to come in, and we're going to go on a romp across the countryside, and we're going to go get, whatever, stuff. I mean, it's going to be like the top of that one. It's going to be the hard drives, of course. But then there's, there's slugs to get. There's stuff to get. Until then, I'm still running these lines. They're slow, right? They're MK1s coming out so that the system keeps going. My whole whatever for this particular playthrough of Satisfactory, I don't know about anyone else, but when you play a game enough, and this is, I don't know which playthrough this would be, it's my 6th big factory where I've actually planned on going, fairly far. My plan is to have these belts actually running fairly consistently. I'm choking it at certain points, like I just showed you with an MK1 belt going into the crushers or into the whatchamacallits, into the sinks, right? So I'm sinking the whole factory, and that is part of the plan, to sink the factory. Do I got enough stuff on me? Yeah, I got enough stuff. So, plan for today. Oh yeah, I have a parachute now. So I've put in the power. Power is running. And I do believe I'm doing pretty good with it. Yeah. Consumption 1600, production's 36. I'm less than half. Not bad, but you'll look at my max consumption is still well above my capacity. Meaning if the whole place goes down, well, anybody that's ever tried to start up a factory, and if you have everything connected and everything powered and there's no switches, which right now I don't have that switch. I don't have the priority switch or the zone switch. I know that's not what it's called, but I think you know what I mean by a zone switch. In other words, I have this zone and I have that zone, and this zone won't start up when that zone gets reset. Okay, so if you try to start up an entire factory, it will oftentimes pull its max consumption, which means I got a bunch of stuff turned off. I got a bunch of things unhooked just to make things work. I do believe this one is unhooked. Yeah, it ain't running. Okay, so right now I got rotors are not being sunk. That will happen later on. That will happen. What I wanted to do is get another bank of rotors in here. I'm not making enough. I do have all of my reinforced iron plates, but once again, not hooked up. So there's a couple of things I'm not really doing. I had to add this. I did it off camera, sorry. All it is sheets, copper sheets. And it's one section, or what I call one section. It's 27 copper sheet makers. That, of course, goes into a sink. I don't mind that one just because of the way my copper numbers worked out, because of the way my copper plate makers worked out. I'm also sinking the limestone into concrete, of course. Not much else use for limestone right now. But this is fully done. I'm not stressing the system. And, I mean, I'm actually running that on an MK3 into there. Because I'm not having a problem elsewhere with limestone and whatnot, because there is no other pull for it. Whereas if I pull too much on, say, copper wiring or cabling, I'm pulling too much on the system. In other words, I'm tweaking it still. I don't know about anybody else, but math in this game is great. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. But it also scales. It scales with your belts. It doesn't scale with your assemblers yet. I say yet. I've heard rumors there's going to be bigger assemblers and MK2 and all the rest of that fun stuff. That's going to mess up a lot of people's math. Water tower's working great. Have not hooked it up yet. I did some preliminary, let's call it foundational work. It's not really foundations, though. But it is work on... so what happened is the whole entire factory goes up. It's all pumped. It's all ready to go. You'll notice that it's 6 lines in. Okay. And, more out. Okay, what I'm expecting is I'm going to be adding more to this. I have them, preset down there. Everything's all ready to go. What I'm waiting for is the bigger... I might as well go up there. I have the same capacity right now. Okay, because what I've done is I've put it through the blueprint maker, and I made these, which are 3 of these. These are all 400s, right? They're all fully loaded. But for a 1200, that is an industrial fluid tank, storage tank, but I don't have them yet. And so this whole thing up here, although it's in place and it's going to allow me to see how things are going to go, this is not the final build because these are all MK1 lines. The final build is MK2. And so when you're going to be upgrading like that, yeah, you have to basically compensate for it. It is what it is. It's the power plant is set, not all plumbed, let's call it. Okay. But it's all set. It's ready to go. Okay. But here's the thing. When you're running the water lines down from the water tower, right, they come out. They're all pressured. I don't need to run pumps on any of these. They run across the ceiling. And then, well, because of this catwalk and whatnot, being above the power stations, they run to, basically here, right? And then they run down to the individual lines. Now, an MK1 line will take care of 6, coal-fired generators. So I have compacted coal being made in the background. And according to my numbers, which I have right in front of me. No, that's Factorio. There we go. So for this, I need 6,050 water. Okay. Which is 121 coal-fired generators. Right, so that takes, it's 5,445 is the official, but I count it as 50 cubic meters of water per. That way I'm over. I always like to be over in my calculations because if you go exact in this game, yeah, I mean, if you listen to Snoot, there was an article he did on the bug on the water pipes. It's not that I figured out a way around the bug, but if you keep your lines fully pressured, I find they are less buggy, way less buggy, which is why I use a water tower. Okay, is it a huge investment in your time? Yes, it is. This is not small. Okay, this is a huge investment. It's in time. Who cares about the commodities? Things don't run out in Satisfactory, so who cares about the commodities? But when it comes right down to it, this thing is big. It's huge, and it takes a lot of your time to build it. But when you're done, the pressure coming out of these lines never goes away as long as you don't go over your pressure. It's why you got to do your math, which is why my math is I want 6,050, but I'm only going to use 5,445, right? That's officially, you take 121 and you multiply it by 45, you get 5,445. But I do it by 50. That way, my water pressure is always taken care of. One MK1 line will take care of 6 plants. An MK2 line will take care of 12. I've already got it set up so that I can plumb it in very quickly later on, not having to take too much out when I go to reset that. By the way, this was just a concrete wall set up here on... I kind of fluked out that it worked. But and like I said, this is mostly just for you guys. I'll be putting power down here somewhere. I'll be putting the oil refinery. I might have to add a wall. I'm thinking of going around the corner, but I mean I'd have to maybe adjust where the space elevator goes. I don't know how I'm going to take care of it. But this is mostly just so that I can look at it and at a glance, just like my spreadsheet, my notes. I mean, in front of me, I have tons and tons of notes and notepads and yada, yada, yada. And I guess I wanted to get across to you, you have to stay organized in this. You have to. You have to have a plan. You have to have a spreadsheet. You have to work on that spreadsheet. It has to change. It has to adjust with what you're doing, with what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, plan for today. Now that I have shown you everything that I've put in, I think... everything that I've put in. That was getting set up for something. This is black powder. I hadn't quite gotten to it yet. I don't have the gun. The black powder right now is just going to be for the MAM, to get the MAM all set up. I have the other southern line leading all the way out to... There's 3 crystal mines out there. There's a couple of other things out there. Some copper out there I brought in. Other than that, not a big deal. That's about all I've taken care of. It's about all I've done off camera. So, today. Sorry to, whatever. That was 10 minutes of introduction, but all of these grids, by the way, I've mentioned it before, all of these will be getting walls. Okay, and I'm going to make individual buildings. Sometimes the buildings will be shorter and smaller, and I'm going to try to make them different sizes and do different things and have some fun with them and whatnot. And then the roads, and it'll look like a city in here. Not too sure what I'm going to do when lines cross. I haven't gotten there yet. Haven't figured that out. I also haven't figured out how I'm going to build the whole thing. I haven't figured that out either. Today is Stators. I need Stators. If I'm going to build where is it? Sorry, Oki. If I'm going to build the 3 parts that I need, which is smart plating, I'm going to need, well, I got that covered, but I'm going to need for versatile framework, for the modular frames, and then I'm going to need, I think it's automated wiring, I need stators. So I'm going to get to work on the objective phase 2 up in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to get on that. It's a slow process for me. The part of the point of this factory was to have it all running and in place for the future and do it now, which is why all of the builds are extreme. They're all huge. And, well, basically now I'm going to move on to getting some stators done. And I was thinking, wasn't absolutely sure where I wanted to do it. This part I don't actually have written down in my original thinking, but I have a big open square right here. So let's get cracking on it. For this, I'm going to need, and on my whatchamacallit, throughout this playthrough, I have had what I refer to as my mid-game and end-game stuff all set up, meaning I have 2 pictures of the calculator done up. And on that calculator, in the end game, I need 40 stator makers. Okay, that's, well, 40.4, so I need 41. But I mean, if I get to 40, I think I'm okay. That's the end game. The mid game for stators, I have 18. Now, what I've done is I've gone to the Satisfactory calculator, and I've just plugged in what I'm going to need mid game. Meaning it's not mid-game. It's what I'm calling mid-game. It's just a place in my mind before I go out to the map with rails. Because once you go out to the map with rails, I personally think things change. I think that's the middle of the game. May or may not agree with me. I don't know. I think you could break this down to more phases in this game. Oh, do I have stators? No, I don't. Alrighty, so I've chosen this area to build the stators. I don't think it's big or long enough because of the way the space elevator works and how I put a road around the original area. You'll notice that the original area encompasses 2 stairways in it. There's that one, there's this one. And then there's actually 4 stairways, right? Which it gives the original area a big enough space for me to build, but that then takes away from other areas by 2 spaces. So building out here gets a little. I wish I had 2 more squares. How's that sound? So the plan here is to scrunch this over as far as possible, and then I'm probably going to get rid of that power pole, or I'll make it into a. One of these. Come on. There we go. Which means I don't think I need to go that way because that's done. And then we'll go to this one. And then we can get rid of, oh, wait. Yeah, because then I'll connect it to, I gotta get my spacing. But we can get rid of this. And then we need to go downstairs. Because this will still have one of these. That's In case you didn't see the original shows or the first few shows, I have a way of doing basically my circuit, my fuses, how I organize the factory, how I do all of these things. So, I think we will build... I'm just going to throw this down as a... And then maybe go... No, yeah, well, that'll work, because it won't hang out over the street. Okay, well, anyway. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, this needs to be... And I goofed up. Well, maybe not. Let's check this out. Because I don't need this. So that can wrap right there. Yeah, no, that's doable. Okay. Let's back this up. Wait till I get blue here. Because then I can build the wall right here, and that works. I'm always going to have to redo these stairways later on. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do them up, but I need to redo those. I don't think I can... No. Hey, that'd be pushing it, wouldn't it? Well, let's... Hang on. Let's try that. And then how's a wall going to happen here? It would hide it. It would snug it right into that. That's future thinking, by the way, when I'm going to put walls up. These are my roads in my factory, and these are, of course, going to be buildings. The factory's not going to look like this forever. Each one of these quadrants, if you look down, is going to become an individual building. So that is about as scrunched as I can make it. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm not going to leave these here just for now, though. Okay, that works for me, though. Okay, that works. And then that's about as tight as I can get it. Okay. Now, how much room do I need for you? I'm using H, by the way, for new factory builders. H is locking your hologram into place. So I'm using blueprints out of the blueprint maker. And I've already... go back. Sorry, but you're going to have to go back a bunch of series to get... I did a video on blueprints. Okay, so these are in the wrong place. Sometimes I will spitball a factory, and I'll... Okay, that's going to have to go there, because I can't go... Well, can I? Will the wall cover it? The wall does. But, here's the big question. Does it block? Wow, it does. Okay, well, how much room do I need for this? You are the determining factor. I've already done the math on this. And the math is, I'm going to have 18 stator makers because my mid-game is 18. So I need 18 stator makers. Hang on, coffee. Coffee. 18 stator makers for my mid-game production. And that has to fit. It does. Okay, so that's a... Well, I might not need that much space. These always have to be a space away. 2 and... Yeah, okay, so I don't need it. I could save myself a bit and come away, but that's okay. Okay, that goes there. And then, I don't know how I'm going to do the third level, but by the time you get to the third level, I could do, like, there and there. You know what I mean? I got all the space in the world to go there and there. This wall doesn't need to be here. You are... Whoops. You are 2, 3. 3. Then I just got to figure out the stairway going up. So this will be all my inputs for this build. These... oh, wait. Oh, no. There. These will just connect. Due to the numbers on stators, the math, and how it works out, the pipe needed, because stators take steel pipe and wire. Because of the numbers, 15 and 40, okay, 6 stator makers, or 6 assemblers, will suck back 240 of the, because it's 6 times 40, 240 of the wire. So one of these is wire, 240 on a 270 belt, I'm fine. The other one is 15 pipes, so that's 270 for all 18 of these. So what I'm going to do is I have my pipe makers right here, okay, and that comes in on one line so far. It's just one line of pipe makers. So I'm going to take that line and I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to be stressing it a bit, okay, in case you're wondering, yes, but I'm not going to be using all of the stators that I'm going to be making in this. Seeing as how it's 5 per minute, right, it basically comes out to 90 stators per minute that I'm going to be making out of this particular little factory. My plan is to only use, let's call it 85, 90. My purpose for this, let's go to the O screen. I have to complete phase 2. That's the plan here. To complete phase 2, no need for stators. Versatile frame, no need for stators. And then the automated wiring. So I need 1 to make 1 in the stator department, 20 wire, blah, blah, blah. But so for automated wiring, I'm going to need 100 of them. I'm not expecting a lot. Now, excuse me, I'm going to actually, down the road, I'll of course be making motors. I will hopefully be done. So the plan is that I could actually have 45 motors running. It's not going to work that way. That's not going to happen. Okay, because in what I need is what I call my mid game. In past, I have shown the calculator page that I made up, and mid game, my motors come in at 8.5. So I'm only going to need 8.5 motor makers. And so if we look at motor makers, this is just one of the parts that uses a stator, but 8 motor makers is only 16 stators. 5 per minute. Look at the, do up all the whatchamacallit for it. Okay, so, I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm not going to need 90 will actually last me. What's my end game? Hang on. Let me check my end game on that. I have a mid game and an end game. In other words, mid game, what I'm looking at needing right now, and when I'm building the factory right now, and then end game, what I'm going to have to add to my factory to be able to survive. Well, not survive. Survive's the wrong word. In order to be able to do the end game of this, what I'm proposing, what I'm building, what I'm making. Where is my end game picture? There it is. Motors, I'm going to need 14.7. 14.7 motor makers. Motor maker, assembler. So with motors, motors take 10 per minute. Now, in the end game, I need 14. Right? In the mid game, basically, I'm looking at 8.5. So 8 times 10, 8.5. I'm making 90, blah, blah, blah. I'm covered. This isn't going to cover me to the end of the game, but if I do 3 stacks of 6, I have more than enough commodities. I'll be making more than enough stators to the end of the game. Towards the end of the game. Let me reiterate that. I have all of the wire happening. I'm probably not going to have to redo. I had a problem with this particular splitter when I put a lift in here. I had some problems with it on the reinforced iron plates. It was messing up that line. Okay, so this I don't like. I don't like how that matched up. I don't like how that went. I'll show you why. So let's go here. Come on. There we go. I want it to go up. Turn. Turn. And then I'm going to use the number 2 one. Then I'm going to go up again. Now, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do the top level, but we'll figure that out. For here, walls. This one. There. Then we'll do zoop. And, oh, zoop. Okay. So now I can probably do a stairway on this side as well, but I'm not too worried about it because, I mean, once you build this, in theory, you don't need to go back up there. So you really only need to go up once. I could destroy the stairway afterwards, really, when it comes down to it, because I don't need to be here. But I usually leave them up because, I don't know, in my mind it makes the factory look more like a factory later on when you got the industrial stairways leading everywhere. Okay, where am I here? You know what? I should do this one. Okay, let's see how close I am. Wow. I actually lined that up. Cool. And I am right on the line. So that's right on the line. Okay, cool. Let's put that in. Okay. I guess it didn't like me. Let's go there. H. There. All this should line up. It does again. Okay, that looks better. And let's do that again. Same as the first. Those should be. They are. Very cool. Okay, and let's get some floors across. And then we need to one more and one more. Okay. Floors across. And then same thing. For a third time. Okay, that way one. And then we gotta get this lined up. Oh, really glad I got parachutes. Wow. Yeah, okay. Totally messed that up, didn't I? Always have your friendly neighborhood parachute. Okay. Let's run that, but I know it's going to be here. Nope, I was even one off. There. Okay. I like things all lined up. Yeah, I know. I'm weird. But it's got to be neat, right? You know, like it's just... It has to... Oh, I should have went over there first. Oh, well. Jump. Oh, I missed. Okay. And this one ought to fit. H. Bring it this way until it's blue. And we're right on the line. Yes, we are. Okay. So we are set. Alrighty. So now these... Oh, come on. Need to be hooked up. Go there. Hook you. Hook you. Okay, and same thing here. Hook you. And hook you. Okay. So we should be good. Now, yeah, I could run stairways here. I agree. But like I said, I mean, once you do it once, yeah, you don't, I mean, I don't usually run stairways. I usually need the stairway afterwards. Okay. I'm still going to go low on that one. And that one needs to be equal. I'm not too sure. I didn't get my line. Yeah, a little bit off, but I'm okay with that. And then these ones will come... Oh, man. Let's go up this stairway. Right after I say, I never use stairways afterwards. Yeah, right. Oops. There we go. Let's go there. There. And there. And voila. Those ones ended up looking better than the others. You know what? Yeah, no doubt, eh? I have to. I have to. So you're there, but you're... So 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. You... are 1, 1, 2. And we are going to go 3. I mean, this one's lower as well. Okay, that looks better to me. Okay. Right arm. Looking good. And that's all going to get covered up. And then I'm saving as much room as possible. Now, the output. Like I was saying, the 5 per minute turns out to be 90 across the entire thing. Is only 90 per minute. So one belt will handle that. In order to get one belt, how do I want to? I'm thinking we're going to have a merger right in the middle. But I want to save room. So we'll go there. Now, how's that gonna work? How's that gonna look? Does that look goofy? Not really. I could come one more out. Okay, there. Now, how do I wanna... I want the top one to be flipped. So if the top one is flipped and goes to the inside, the second one has to come to the outside. Okay, no. So that one goes that way. Let's get rid of that. This one comes in. Let's flip. So that's that level. And then flip this way. Okay. And we're going to G. There. I can't really. It's the top one. Okay. So that belt goes to there, and that belt goes to there, and that one goes to there, and this one goes to there. Okay, and everything's all nicely lined up. Then this is what's going to happen. A lift goes from here to there. And then a lift goes from there to there. And then there's my output. And that is going to go... Yeah, I figured I was off. Right to there. And that'll be... Oops. Got to push the right keys. R was the one I was looking for. Okay. And then that goes to there. And that whole thing, it will be 90 per minute. I'll do the signage later on. But I do signage on pretty much everything. Oh, that's too low. That's why those look drooped. Well, isn't that interesting? That does not, that's not going to compute. So we want to do one up. Okay. Much better. You got to have clean, I don't know about anyone else, man. You got to have clean lines. Did this spin one? Well, that would really be irking. Okay, let's go to the back. Oops. 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now for the lifts. Okay. That looks much better. Much cleaner. Yeah. Everything all nice and flat. Everything all good. Okay. So, well, everybody, I'm going to shut this episode down here while I head downstairs, go hook all this stuff up. Thank you for joining me today. And into the next episode, I'm going to hook all this stuff up, get the stators actually running. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you in the next one.